What's going on, fellas? Welcome back to the channel. It's your boy Tyler Davis, and today we're going to take a look at the Week 5 best under-owned gems. So basically the players that I think are going low-owned when it comes to DFS tournaments this week that you can really take advantage, that have major upside to potentially win us some big prizes, some big tournaments here for week number 5 on DraftKings. We got a few at quarterback, running back, receiver, and tight end. So make sure you guys are subscribed. Hit that bell so you notify anytime I do drop a bunch of content here on the channel. I've been posting a bunch of shorts, a bunch of reels on my TikTok as well as here on YouTube. So make sure you check those out at T Davis Playbook. Make sure you check out the Patreon down the link in the description below. Our Thursday Night Football cheat sheet is available. We will have our main slate cheat sheet available as well on the Patreon. So make sure you check that out in the link in the description below. All right, let's jump into it here. We'll start with the quarterback position. And for some reason, no one is playing Jared Goff at 6,500. I don't understand it. I know the upside isn't like massive, but some would say it is. In week 2, 37 fantasy points against the Chicago Bears. Bengals defense is atrocious. Jake Browning loves to turn the ball over, right? What does that mean? The Lions are going to get the ball in plus territory in scoring position, more points for Jared Goff. I think Jared Goff has major upside here against the Bengals. I do think the Bengals can maybe still keep up a little bit too, because listen, Jake Brown's very turnover heavy, but he also can move the ball on the field. He's willing to throw some things, and you got Jamar Chase, you got T. Higgins out there. I think they can still score some points. It's a little bit tough to trust for the Bengals, but I do think Jared Goff can be pushed a little bit in this game, and he always has that upside. I'm trying to get all the Lions I can, so obviously I'm trying to separate, Goff from Montgomery, but I don't mind stacking Goff with Jahmyr Gibbs. I don't mind stacking him with Amon-Ra. Couple of guys that we're going to talk about here on under-owned gems for the Lions as well. So Jared Goff is the first one I take a look at. Then you got Dak Prescott, who's coming off a phenomenal game against the Packers. 34 fantasy points, throws for 300 yards and 3 touchdowns. Now you get the Jets on the road here. Jets defense has been nothing to be excited about. The Jets defense doesn't look that good. You would think, with Aaron Glenn back there, they would be, but they haven't looked good. And Dak, even without CeeDee Lamb, has been firing on all cylinders. It allows him to spread the ball around a little bit more with Ferguson, Pickens, Turpin, Tolbert, even Javonte Williams out of the backfield a little bit. So Dak at 6K is a nice tournament option here at low ownership, which I was surprised about. Then you got someone that nobody's playing because Tyreek Hill is gone, is Tua Tagovailoa. But I get a clean, easy double stack here with Tua, Achane, and Waddle. It's affordable, it's cheap, it's nice and easy. You can run it back with Tet McMillan on the Panthers side if you want to as well. But Tua Tagovailoa, 5,500 here. Nice price tag. Panthers defense gave up 42 points against the Patriots. They do not look good. You can go with Tua in all formats here at a nice discounted ownership, which seems like no one wants to play him because Tyreek Hill is gone. And then one other guy I want to throw out there, which I don't think he has massive upside, but the Tampa Bay Buccaneers are known to be a pass funnel defense. That means they are good at stopping the run. They give up yards through the air. And this Seattle Seahawks offense is very run-centric, built off the play action. But Darnold has some upside. We've seen it last year with the Vikings. There's a couple games this year, 3 games in a row, over 16 fantasy points. At 5,100, it's not like major upside, but I do think if you saw in week 2 there, almost 300 yards passing against the Steelers, he can get you that 300-yard bonus against the Bucs here, and if he gets you 2 to 3 touchdowns, he's going to pay off this salary. So it's not my favorite option, but I think it's worth mentioning at 5,100 against a pass funnel type defense. This is a quick timeout to let you guys know that I've been a pro DFS player for over 5 years and have over $100,000 in career winnings. And now I'm giving away all my secrets, which you can check out at patreon.com/tdavisbrand. The link is also in the description below. It's going to give you a cheat sheet for every major slate of the NFL season. So Thursday Night Football, Sunday main slate, Sunday Night Football, Monday Night Football, all the major slates, whether it be Showdown or the regular classic slates, you'll have access to my cheat sheet, as well as access to my private Discord where you can ask me anything fantasy football related. And I also have a NFL DFS ebook, How to Win at Daily Fantasy Football. It goes over every strategy you would want to win some cold hard cash this upcoming NFL season. We talk about things like bankroll management, contest selection, how to win GPPs, cash games, etc. So sign up for the free ebook down in the link in the description below. Let's go to the running back position. Once again with the Lions here, seems like no one's playing Jahmyr Gibbs. They want to pay up for Jonathan Taylor. They want to pay up for Devin Achane. We've even seen some Marlon Hampton, Ashton Genty, maybe a few shares of Saquon Barkley. Seems like no one's really playing Jahmyr Gibbs at 7,700, and this guy has massive upside every week. It's a little bit tough to love because he's in that committee with David Montgomery, who we're going to mention in a second. He's in that committee, so it's a little bit tough, but the upside is always there for Jahmyr Gibbs because of the passing game role. We saw it in week 3, 6 targets, 32 yards, 22 carries, 2 touchdowns on the ground. So he has touchdown upside, he has reception upside. That's what you want from a bell cow running back that we're paying up for. We're able to get that with Jahmyr Gibbs. Ashton Jeanty seems like he's going to be a little bit lower owned because you got Amari and Hampton right here at 6,500, who everyone's going to play, rightfully so. He's a great play. But that opens up Ashton Jeanty a little bit for 200 more. We saw the major upside last week against the Bears. 37 fantasy points, 21 carries, 138 yards, touchdown, 2 touchdowns receiving as well, which is just insanity. So maybe they start to utilize Jeanty every week here on the road against the Colts. I think this could be a high-scoring potential game. Cam Scatterbo for the Giants here. You lose Malik Neighbors. I think Jackson Dart will dump the ball off a lot to Cam Scatterbo. They're going to pound the rock with this guy. They gave him 25 carries last week. I mean, that is an insane workload. He didn't get in the end zone, so if he falls in the end zone, he's going to have a massive game with that type of workload here. Price tag's up a little bit higher than we'd like, but 6K still reasonable here for a guy who is a 3-down back right now for the New York Football Giants. David Montgomery, the other running back here in Detroit. You know, it's very risky with David Montgomery because, you know, they could run the rock and he can have a great game, or it could get completely thrown out the window. They have to pass, and they're going to be Jahmyr Gibbs all day long as that 3rd-down back. So it's really, you know, high risk, high reward here with David Montgomery. But if they do have a lead against the Bengals in the second half, they're going to pound the rock with Montgomery. And if he falls in the end zone a couple times, he is worth it at 5,200. So he's definitely tournament only for me at that price tag. And then one other guy I did want to take a look at here, who I think we're going to see some Rachaad White ownership if Bucky Irving's out. But I don't think a lot of people are going to play Michael Carter down here at minimum price, 4K. There he is, 4K right there, Tennessee against Arizona. I mean, look, Trey Benson's out, James Conner's out. DeMarcado, I think, is more of the 3rd-down back. I even seen a report coming out saying that Michael Carter could be the guy here for the Arizona Cardinals. He could be the starter. I think he even came out saying he's going to be the starter. So, look, if they're playing the Titans, they're at home with the lead here. They're going to pound the rock with Michael Carter in the second half, especially. And listen, he can get 15 carries, fall in the end zone. He easily pays off that 4K salary. All right, let's go over to the receiver position. At the top, I think you're going to see some ownership on guys like Amon-Ra, Nico Collins, maybe even some on A.J. Brown, Cortland Sutton. So I think that opens up JSN here at 7,100. Easy under-owned gem stack between Darnold and JSN, right? Tampa Bay is a pass funnel defense. They are better against the run, so you can easily get that Darnold-JSN connection here for, you know, low ownership and high upside in this spot for JSN. He's been outstanding. Already 400 yards receiving this year. Let's go to George Pickens down here at 6,600. What a game against the Packers. 36 fantasy points. The new alpha, the new #1 receiver here for Dak Prescott and the Dallas Cowboys. 2 touchdowns through the air as well, 300 yards already on the season. And like I said, he's the new alpha there for the Cowboys. And the matchup against the Jets is better than it was against the Packers. So I expect Dak to go right back to the well here. You can get a nice double stack with Dak, Pickens, and Ferguson. There's going to be a lot of ownership on Ferguson, but I think the ownership on Dak and Pickens will be reduced. You can take advantage of that for sure. Marvin Harrison Jr. finally had a decent game last week against the Seattle Seahawks. Now he gets the Tennessee Titans at home here. And look, what we talked about. James Conner's out. Trey Benson's out. We got Michael Carter we mentioned, but they're going to have to go a little bit more pass heavy here in this offense. A game they could easily win. They should easily win and be able to score points against the Titans. Marvin Harrison, if they're passing the ball more, extra targets going to him, which we love to see. And then Jameson Williams, you know I'm all over these Lions. Jameson Williams has that 30 to 40 fantasy point potential in him. I'm just waiting to see it. We saw it in week 2 a little bit against the Bears there, 21 fantasy points, but I think he has 30 and 40 fantasy point potential in him, and I know it's going to happen at some point, and this could be the spot right here against the Bengals, who have one of the worst defenses in the NFL. And then finally, Malik Washington here for the Dolphins. Look, Tyreek Hill's gone. They need another playmaker. They try to get this guy in space. Look, he's got 2 carries at least in the last 3 games. They utilize him in the open field. He has some, explosiveness, has some talent. I think Mike McDaniel will find ways to utilize this guy. 3,900 a game against the Panthers. They should be able to score points. Let's go over to the tight end position. We're going to see a lot of ownership on guys like Trey McBride, Brock Bowers, Jake Ferguson, Tyler Warren, especially Ferguson and Warren here at that kind of mid-price range. So for me to get leverage off of them, I'm looking in that next tier. Laporta, Juwan Johnson, Zach Ertz. Laporta, we talked about these Lions. Laporta hasn't shown the upside yet, but we know he can get into the end zone twice in a game. And if he does that, he easily pays off this salary, a get-right spot against the Bengals. Juwan Johnson, who's been the #2 target for Spencer Rattler here. He's been good all season except last week against the Bills. That's a tough matchup, but you get a nice bounce-back spot here at home against the Giants. Juwan Johnson, I think, is a great play at 3,900. And then Zach Ertz. This guy, When Jaden Daniels is in there, he is fantastic. When Jaden Daniels isn't in there, it's not as good, right? First 2 weeks, 11 fantasy points, 18 fantasy points, 2 touchdowns with Jaden Daniels. Daniels gets hurt. Marcus Mariota comes in. 6 and 6 fantasy points back-to-back weeks, not great. But Jaden Daniels is back to save the day. Open up Zach Ertz. He's one of my favorite value plays on this slate entirely at 3,800. And no one's going to be playing him. Really, the ownership's going to be low. You can take advantage. A couple other guys I want to mention here. Dalton Schultz, Theo Johnson, Chig Okonkwo. All these guys are fine punt plays for, suppressed ownership. I don't think any of their ownerships will spike. Schultz, you got a winnable game against the Ravens. Their defense hasn't shown to be that good yet. Theo Johnson, you get Jackson Dart in there to open up the passing game a little bit more. And Chig Okonkwo, who's been basically the number 2 target for Cam Ward in a game they're going to be trailing against the Cardinals and have to pass to keep up. So that does it for the Underowned Gems video, week number 5. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. Make sure you check out all the videos here for week number 5 on my channel. Hey, thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. Please go ahead and give this video a like. I appreciate it so much, as well as subscribe to the channel here on YouTube so you can check out all the videos that I have to offer.